watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. Thanks for having us in. Susan is off today. Let's begin with the first warn forecast. Meteorologist Blaze Keller joins us with some snow in the forecast, which could lead to some alert day conditions. What's up, Blaze?
And that's right. We're expecting those alert day conditions to really begin here as we head into the evening, continue overnight, and last through Friday afternoon. This is what we were expecting this week. In the days following Valentine's Day, not only were we expecting one system, but two, bringing us a mix of seasons across southern Wisconsin. We had the 60s and thunderstorms earlier this week, and now we are dealing with winter with snow showers and a rain-snow mix expected to begin and continue overnight into Friday afternoon. In the purple, that is where we find a winter weather advisory for Dane County as well as Greene, Columbia, Waushara, Green Lake, Marquette, Vernon County. In the pink, that is a winter storm warning. That goes until noon on Friday, the winter weather advisory until 9 a.m. on Friday for those across the north and the west, but for those in more of central parts of southern Wisconsin, so that would include Dane County, that goes until noon on Friday. That system is beginning to move its way into parts of at least the Midwest. We're not really seeing a whole lot in the way of activity quite yet, but there's still a lot of life left on this system. Rain right now will eventually transition over to a rain-snow mix. This system is going to be a strong one. It is going to bring us heavy snow, strong winds. Some of us may be making off with about 6 inches or more of that wet, heavy snow by the time we head into the weekend. So Brady and folks at home, we're going to spend the entire hour talking about this system. Usually I try to break up maybe 2 topics throughout the Live at 4 hour, but we got a lot to talk about with this one. So we're going to cover it in full over the next hour.
Thanks, Blaze. We're following developing news today. One of Wisconsin's most powerful Republicans announced today he will not seek re-election. Political reporter Ellie LaLiberte joins us now with Assembly Speaker Robin Voss's retirement. Ellie.
Brady, the speaker got emotional on the Assembly floor today as he made that announcement. He said while he's been thinking about it for most of 2025, the decision to not run again comes partially after he suffered a mild heart attack in November. Robin Voss is one of the state's most dominant politicians. Some of his most critical political moves include working with former Governor Scott Walker to pass Act 10, the legislation that ended collective bargaining for public employees. He's also largely credited with restricting the power of the governor right before Governor Tony Evers took office. He was also criticized by President Donald Trump in 2020 for not immediately investigating the president's loss in the state. Here was his message to lawmakers on the floor today.
As I step away from this chamber, my hope is super simple: that those who follow will remember that the legislature is not meant to be convenient or fast or easy. It is meant to be deliberative. It's meant to be independent, and it's meant to be strong. If this institution remains strong,
the role of Speaker in 2013. He is the longest-serving Speaker in Wisconsin history. He was also first elected to the Assembly in 2004. Notably, Voss's retirement comes as Democrats are aiming to flip the Assembly this year.
Thank you, Ellie. Shooting this morning that left one teenager dead. Our Maya Tate joins us live in Madison with what's going on in the investigation. Maya?
At around 9:20 this morning, Madison police were called to a house on North Lawn Avenue after reports of a shooting. 2 teens inside the home were involved with the incident. One is dead with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, and as of 11:45 this morning, the other teen was at a local hospital in critical condition.
This is a particularly tragic incident. It involves teenagers. It involves people that know one another, and unfortunately it involves people who were in the residence at the same time, who are now dealing with, frankly, a lifetime of trauma.
I talked to a neighbor in the area who said they didn't hear anything this morning and were unaware of anything going on until police arrived. With that, police say that they have spoken to everyone at the scene that they needed to, and there is no threat to the community. We will have updates as we get them on channel3000.com. As of right now, I'm Maya Tate reporting from the east side.
Maya, thank you. Well, in other local headlines, the vice president of the Madison School Board is officially charged for an incident police say happened in December. Prosecutors have charged Maya Pearson with resisting or obstructing an officer and disorderly conduct. Police say Pearson was riding with Urban Triage founder and CEO Brandy Grayson, who was driving over cones and into a loading zone outside a theater in downtown. Police also say she refused to get out of the car. Officers had to remove her. Pearson is also a member of Madison's Police Civilian Oversight Board. Grayson faces similar charges. Both are set to be in court next month. On Madison's west side, one person and their dog, they're out of their home after a fire early this morning. This happened at about 4 this morning on Quaking Aspen Road, just south of the Stone Circle Nature Preserve. The person who called 911 said they saw flames coming from the back deck of the home. Firefighters put the fire out roughly 30 minutes. No injuries have been reported. The extent of the damage is unclear, and the Red Cross is helping the person. In 2025, Wisconsin saw a surge in filed Chapter 12 bankruptcies. Increased financial pressures have caused substantial problems for family farms all across our state. Nash Dara shares why. Nash?
Brady, farming financial pressures today have caused for a jump in the amount of filed Chapter 12 bankruptcies. A number that was just 2 in 2024 went all the way up to 16 just a year later. But what caused such a drastic change? Earlier this afternoon, I spoke with David Kreckler, a practicing attorney at Kreckler Law SC, who shared with me in 2020 Congress created a new form of bankruptcy for small businesses called Subchapter 5. When it was created, it came with a debt limit of $2.5 million, but bounced up and down between that and $7 million. In 2024, that number was then set at $3 million, changing where some farmers were categorized, causing them to file for Chapter 12 bankruptcy due to having a debt limit of $12.5 million, a problem that shows underlying issues for family-owned farms.
Farmers have all the problems that every small business has, and then you have to throw on top of it 2 other things. One is the subsidies and price regulation. Farmers don't get to charge whatever they want for their milk. And then, of course, weather. They still have trouble with labor, as do many other industries, but interest and inflation has been a killer for farmers.
Kreckler also shared Chapter 12 bankruptcy is a very effective form of relief that allows farmers to reorganize and eliminate debt while still being able to farm and pay off loans for an extended period of time. Brady, I will have more on this story tonight at 5, hearing from a local family-owned farmer.
See you then. Thank you, Nash. The Wisconsin State Assembly has passed a bipartisan bill aimed at stopping scammers from using cryptocurrency kiosks to steal from victims. Supporters include AARP Wisconsin, and they say criminals often trick people into withdrawing cash and then depositing it into crypto ATMs found in gas stations, convenience stores, and other locations. Assembly Bill 968 would set a $1,000 daily transaction limit, require user identification and receipts, and allow fraud victims to seek refunds. The legislation now heads to the state Senate for consideration before it can be sent to Governor Evers for approval. Within the last hour, we've also heard the state assembly has passed a bill legalizing online sports betting on tribal lands. That still needs to go to the Senate. We'll show you these details tonight at 5. Well, next on Live at 4, the weekend is nearly here. Josh Sprider is in the 608 with what you need to know about some cool events in our area this weekend. Then dramatic new video of a man in Wisconsin who police say stole an ambulance with a patient inside while not wearing any clothing. And the former Prince Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office over ties with Jeffrey Epstein. Plus, the First Warn weather team is keeping an eye out for alert day conditions from this evening into tomorrow. Blaze tells us how this could be impacting your morning commute.
4, moving forward.
It's Thursday, or as we like to call it here on Live at 4, Friday Eve. That means many of us are already working for the weekend in the 608. Josh Sprider has your weekend planner for your family.
We're getting you ready for the last full weekend of February. Here are my 3 things to do this weekend in the 608. Train enthusiasts are gearing up for one of the biggest railroad shows in the region. The Mad City Model Railroad Show rolls into the exhibition hall at the Alliant Energy Center on Saturday and Sunday. Organizers say this year's event expands to 100,000 square feet. It's featuring model railroads in all scales, toy trains, how-to clinics, exhibits, and more than 250 vendors. Attendees can also register for door prizes with 4 train sets given away each day. Hours are 9 to 5 on Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. A heads up, parking at the Alliant Energy Center is also $10 per vehicle. The rhythm and energy of Carnival is coming to downtown Madison this weekend. Madison Carnival takes over the Majestic Theater Saturday night, featuring live music from the Amphibians. Doors open at 7 and that show starts at 8. The event is open to all ages. Tickets are available online right now. Organizers say the celebration promises a lively night of music and community in the heart of the city. Also happening Saturday, a winter carnival at 7 Acre Dairy Company in Paoli. The family-friendly event features live music, bonfires, a petting zoo, and even a polar dip. Guests can warm up in a heated tent with vendors and bands or enjoy some outdoor food and drinks. Admission is $10 for adults, $7 for kids ages 4 to 17, and free for those 3 and under. A portion of those proceeds benefits Belleville EMS, which will be on site during that event. For more happenings this weekend in the 608, go to channel3000.com. For In the 608, I'm Josh Brighter.
Thanks, Josh. You can also watch Josh every weekday morning and noon right here on News 3 Now. Well, we saw some rain and thunderstorms earlier this week, and now we are heading into alert day conditions for, yes, some snow. Blaze is here with Who Could See That, Blaze?
Yeah, you know, about a week, maybe even a week and a half ago, we were starting to get you prepared for this week. The days following Valentine's Day, we were expecting it to be more active, with showers and thunderstorms to start off this week. More of a rain-snow mix and heavy wet snow to end it. With cooler temperatures, we're looking at some folks picking upwards of 6 inches or more of wet heavy snow starting later tonight, wrapping up by Friday late morning, early afternoon. This system is going to quickly intensify as it moves through southern Wisconsin. That is going to lead to not only the uptick in winds, but also the production of that snow, peaking right around midnight, lasting through at least the morning commute, maybe as late as about 10, 11 o'clock Friday morning. That is when this system is really going to undergo that rapid intensification, producing those strong winds, pulling down cooler air, and bringing us that heavy snow. Expect a slow morning commute, especially for folks across southern Wisconsin, maybe not southeastern Wisconsin, but south central and southwestern parts of our viewing area. And there's also going to be a sharp snow total cutoff on either ends of this system. We'll talk about why right now. This system is going to be moving on in, bringing us showers, and then those showers will eventually turn over to a rain-snow mix. Snow likely beginning to fall across western parts of Wisconsin along the Mississippi River before midnight going into Friday. Still dealing with that rain-snow mix across central parts of the forecast area into those early morning hours, but showers along with even some drier air across southeastern Wisconsin. That's going to lead to that sharp snow cutoff across southeastern Wisconsin, but this isn't really going to expand its way northward, so we're going to have a sharp cutoff to the northwest as well. By about 7 a.m., we have completely really transitioned over to that wet, heavy snow, coupled with wind gusts upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour during your morning commute. You can always check on our website throughout the rest of this evening if any schools are delayed or canceling because of this upcoming snow. What are we talking in ways of snow totals? Those of us in the dark blue, 6 to 8, possibly even more inches of wet, heavy snow, a even sharp cutoff within Dane County. So this cutoff is going to be even down to the county size, where northwestern parts of Dane County could pick 3 to 6 inches of snow, whereas southeastern parts of Dane County could pick up 1 to 3 inches of snow. So if this system even slightly moves further to the east or to the west, that is going to lead to possibly your neighbors picking up 2 to 3 inches more snow than yourself. So stay with News 3 Now. We will keep you updated. But where we are expecting that heaviest snow to fall is where our winter storm severity index is at its moderate, where that heavier snow is expected to fall coupled with those strong winds. So this is the wrapping up of this active week, going from spring to winter within just a couple of days. Brady and folks at home, a few flurries will be possible into Saturday, but the accumulating snow will wrap up by about Friday early afternoon, and then we'll hang out in the 20s first Sunday and Monday. Next Monday, those 60s like a far dream.
Oh,
I know.
we
It
wish
was
them
so
well.
nice, and now we're in the 20s.
Reality hits. All right. Thanks, Blaze. Well, coming up on Live at 4, the world is reacting to the arrest of the former Prince Andrew after his alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Plus, President Trump is holding a meeting with his Board of Peace, while he also says Iran has 10 days to make a deal to end its nuclear program, or he says bad things will happen. Then a bipartisan bill in Wisconsin that would expand postpartum care has caused contention in the state legislature. We're learning how that legislation could be moving forward. And scammers are getting more and more complex every day. And now you have to be on the lookout when you're even applying for a job. Consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn shows us which warnings to be on the lookout for when you're submitting an application.
News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Here's a look at the numbers on Wall Street today. Some downward movement. The Dow was down 267 points. The Nasdaq lost 70 and the S&P 500 is down nearly 20. A police chased a stolen ambulance for 40 minutes, driven by a naked man with a patient still in the back. The chase started in Wisconsin Rapids and spanned 18 miles. Paramedics were inside when the man allegedly took the ambulance, but they got out safely. Pittsville police deployed tire deflating devices to stop the vehicle once it got stuck in a field.
Driver of the vehicle! Shut it off now! Come on with your hands up!
You hear that come over the radio, hey, that someone has stolen an ambulance, and your first thought is, did they just say someone stole an ambulance? How does that happen?
Police have arrested Benjamin Feltz for operating while under the influence. The patient in the back was not hurt. King Charles' younger brother Andrew has been released from police custody but remains under investigation. The former prince was arrested this morning in connection with his ties to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Tina Krause is outside Buckingham Palace with the latest.
Cameras caught a glimpse of former Prince Andrew leaving the police station Thursday nearly 12 hours after he was arrested at his family's royal estate on suspicion of misconduct in public office in connection to his relationship with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I think it was always inevitable that Andrew was going to be questioned by the police, but let's not mistake this. The arrest of a senior is the first time that a senior member of the royal family has been arrested like this.
Investigators are looking into whether Andrew shared confidential government information with the disgraced financier during the royals' time as a British trade envoy. While King Charles stripped Andrew of his titles last year because of the Epstein scandal, Andrew has long denied any wrongdoing. Do you think he should have been arrested?
Yes, I think so. I think there's obviously something really wrong that's happened.
The family of Virginia Giuffre, who died by suicide after accusing the then prince of abuse, called Thursday's arrest a victory.
This is just such a win for Virginia and for all survivors out there, truly.
In a statement, King Charles said the royal family will cooperate with investigators, writing in part, "Let me state clearly, the law must take its course." The former prince was once second in line to the British throne. It's not yet clear how his arrest will affect the royal family going forward.
If evidence was to appear that showed other royals somehow in cahoots with him, then that's a completely different kettle of fish. But at the moment, it's one stinky fish.
The king carried on business as usual, taking a front row seat at a London fashion show just hours after his younger brother's arrest. Tina Krause, CBS News, London.
President Trump, whose name, along with many others, appears in the Epstein files, called Andrew's arrest very sad and very bad for the royal family. President Trump has given a timeline for Iran to reach a deal to end its nuclear program. It also gives U.S. forces more time to steam toward the Middle East. This comes as the president also convened his first ever Board of Peace designed to maintain peace in Gaza. Erica Brown has more details from Capitol Hill.
President Trump is weighing action against Iran if no deal is reached to curb the country's nuclear program.
We may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
CBS News has learned national security officials have presented the president with military options for strikes against Iran. And the president has ordered a buildup of U.S. forces in the region, including the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford. It comes as Iran is carrying out joint military exercises with Russian forces in the region.
We're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie plan to force a vote as soon as next week on a war powers resolution requiring congressional approval before any military action against Iran. President Trump also announced the U.S. will contribute $10 billion to the Board of Peace as he hosted its first meeting in Washington Thursday. The board was created as part of the brokered peace deal between Israel and Hamas.
We have to get this right. There is no plan B for Gaza. Plan B is going back to war. No one here wants that.
The president signed fundraising pledges totaling about $7 billion from member states to help with humanitarian aid and reconstruction in Gaza. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
U.S. forces being deployed to the Middle East are all expected to be in the area no later than mid-March. Coming up next on Live at 4, one of Wisconsin's most prominent politicians is stepping away from his role. Then a bill Democrats have been pushing for a vote is gaining traction at the Capitol. A postpartum bill is currently being debated. We'll have the latest. And finding a job in this day and age, it's hard enough already, right? Now job seekers need to be on the lookout for scammers. We'll show you how the scam works and how to avoid it. But first, Blaze is back with first warn forecast with some alert day conditions that we are expecting in our area.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Welcome to Live at 4. Thanks for having us in. Susan is off today. Let's take a look at outside and get a look at our weather words. All those ducks are thriving. They're enjoying this nice weather outside, but they and the rest of us, we have to get ready for some changes because we are tracking alert day snow. Blaze, I was thriving without my jacket. I had some shorts, but gone are those days.
Yeah, I mean, truly, Monday, Tuesday, we were in the 50s and 60s, and now we are getting ready for not only snow, but settling into the 20s for the weekend. We told you in the days after Valentine's Day, we were going to get more active. Showers and thunderstorms earlier this week. Now we're tracking alert day conditions for snow. Some folks getting upwards of 6 inches of snow or more. And this is going to be a wet, heavy snow beginning later this evening, continuing and really intensifying overnight through at least the morning commute time frame on Friday. This is a very healthy system. Showers are beginning to move into parts of southern Wisconsin, stretching from about Platteville there in southern Grant County into Darlington in Lafayette County. We get a brief break between Darlington and Monroe, but then we see that shower activity picking back up as we look into the Janesville, Rock County area. But if we expand this out even further, we can see the dynamic of this system. We've got snow off into parts of Nebraska and Minnesota, as well as Iowa. We've got tornado warnings and even a tornado emergency occurring across the Illinois-Indiana border. This is a very intense system, and it is going to bring us rain, snow, and a mix of both before it moves on out of here by later Friday afternoon. Brady and folks at home, we're taking a look at who could see the most snow in just a few minutes.
All right, see you then. Thank you, Blaze. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos announced today he will not seek re-election. Vos is one of Wisconsin's most powerful politicians. Political reporter Ellie LaLiberte joins us now on his retirement decision. Ellie.
Brady, the speaker got emotional today on the floor as he made that announcement. Robin Vos stepped into the role of speaker in 2013, and he's held that position longer than anyone else in Wisconsin history. He said he's been thinking about it through 2025, and the decision not to run again partially comes after he suffered a mild heart attack in November. During his announcement today, he took a moment to thank staff, family, and colleagues.
No accomplishment in this building is ever the work of one person. To the members of this assembly, Republicans and Democrats alike, thank you. We have argued fiercely. We have disagreed passionately. And yet we have all shown up day after day by a shared respect for this institution.
Now, one of the speaker's most critical political moves includes working with former Governor Scott Walker to pass Act 10, the legislation that ended collective bargaining for public employees. He's also largely credited with restricting the power of the governor before Tony Evers took office. And in response to the speaker's announcement, Governor Tony Evers wrote, quote, "Although we've disagreed more often than we didn't, I respect his candor and his ability to navigate complex policies and conversations in his unrivaled passion for politics." Brady.
Thank you, Ellie. In the 11th hour, the state assembly is working to expand Medicaid coverage for new moms. The bill would increase postpartum Medicaid coverage from 2 months to a year after a baby is born. Wisconsin is just one of 2 states that has not expanded that coverage. This issue is something Wisconsin Democrats and a majority of Republicans have wanted for years. A local doula says extending care is critical.
Having mothers only receiving care and really only like one time visiting the doctor in that 6 weeks can be really dangerous for mothers, for their babies, and especially for families.
Assembly Democrats have been pushing for a vote on the bill the entire session. However, it has been blocked by Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. Minority Leader Greta Neubauer added postpartum Medicaid as an amendment on every bill to try to force a vote on the issue. The legislation has broad bipartisan support and has already passed in the Senate. It's currently being debated in the Assembly, and if it passes, it'll go to Governor Evers' desk for him to sign to become law. Madison police say they are searching for a woman who left a group home on the city's west side. 23-year-old Catherine McIntosh was last seen on Wednesday near Park Edge Drive and Gammon Lane. That's near Elver Park. She was wearing a blue hooded sweatshirt, red pants, and a black blanket. Anyone with information, please call police or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers at the numbers on your screen. The Wisconsin Realtors Association is releasing its January real estate report, and it shows existing home sales dropped just under 4% compared to the year before. The statewide median price increased nearly 8% to $315,000. New listings fell about 11% year over year. The average 30-year mortgage rate declined from nearly 7% to just above 6%, and this helped boost the Housing Affordability Index to about 2%. Remote job scams are on the rise, with con artists luring victims in with promises of easy cash for simple tasks. But one demographic of job seekers may be at higher risk. Consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn is sharing those warnings.
New research from AARP finds that nearly a quarter of workers 50 and older are worried about losing their job within the next year. 7% of retirees say they have to unretire, making them the perfect targets for remote job scammers. Now, Bonnie Herring found out the hard way after accepting a part-time remote gig to approve positive hotel reviews for a commission. In a matter of days, she says she handed over more than $221,000 of her life savings to a fake company.
I go to cash out and they tell me that because I'm a level 1, that a level 1 person can only withdraw so much money. So I had to be bumped up to another level, which costs money.
Police and FBI say it's highly unlikely she'll ever get her money back. AARP says money is the driver for unretired workers, and they're turning to AI, using it to their advantage. Employers and predict questions that you might get in that interview to help prepare for what an interview might look like in today's job market. AARP is offering a free course on AI now through March 31st. You can also find expert advice and job search tools designed for older workers by visiting aarp.org/work. Regardless of your age, the Federal Trade Commission warns job seekers to never pay someone to get paid or get a job.
Thank you, Michelle Renee, and you can join Michelle Renee every Saturday and Sunday anchoring weekend mornings right here on News 3 Now. Madison's libraries are getting a boost ahead of a big national milestone. The Madison Public Library has received a $20,000 grant from the Carnegie Corporation of New York. The funding is part of the Carnegie Library's 250 initiative, honoring the nation's historic Carnegie libraries ahead of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Madison is home to 2 Carnegie-funded libraries, including the original Central Library site and the Hawthorne branch. Library leaders say the money can be used for community programs, celebrations, or mission-centered projects. The Renaissance Cluster dog shows are returning to the Alliant Energy Center over the next 4 days, bringing nearly 3,000 dogs to Madison. Better have a lot of treats. The event combines shows hosted by the Wisconsin Kennel Club and the Dubuque Kennel Club, featuring more than 200 breeds from all over the country. Each day will crown a Best in Show winner, with specialty competitions highlighting dozens of the same breed, from golden retrievers to little French bulldogs. Organizers say the public is encouraged to attend, meet breed experts, and you can even pet the dogs with the owner's permission, of course. Tickets are $10 per person, kids 12 and under are free, and there is an $8 vehicle parking fee. Well, next on Live at 4, you could call it a homegrown business right in our area. I spoke with 2 business owners in Fort Atkinson who are growing their business and the community around them. And spring is still about 28 days away, with summer 121 days away. We are so close. We're keeping us all warm with the announcement of the Summerfest lineup, the star-studded performers that will take the stage. Plus, warm, well, it's not really on our radar for the next 24 hours. Blaze and the First Warn weather team are tracking alert day conditions that will impact morning commutes for some people.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Oh my gosh, look at that. We are taking a live look at St. Ignace, Michigan, which is showing the top of the weather system that we are expecting this evening. Well, here's your fun fact. This is fully surrounded by water with sunrises over Lake Huron and sunsets over Lake Michigan. Better grab a shovel. Well, you know how it goes. It's common to grow up in a smaller community and then leave the first chance you get. That's not the case for two business owners in Fort Atkinson. Mariah Fitz and Kenzie Leith have opened their own plant shop. And they say in good times and in bad times, their hometown has inspired them to sow seeds for the future.
Got a new leaf, got a couple new leaves.
Even in February, there's something blooming right off Highway 26 in Fort Atkinson.
Wanted to open in August, but then painting and countertops and poly.
We did a lot more than we thought we were going to.
The passion project of two women who decided to grow where they're planted.
Very local and, you know,
like community.
Yeah, very community based, and everybody kind of knows everybody and everybody's got your back.
After years of working for other people, longtime friends Mariah Fitz and Kenzie Leith decided to branch out and open their own shop, Vines and Vices.
And the vices that kind of makes things like life a little bit fun.
Fitz has lived here for about a decade. Leith, born and raised.
We were both bartenders. That's how we met originally.
Instead of drinks, these days, the two are pouring themselves into their plant shop.
We're kind of creating our own little community of plant lovers that we didn't know before.
Leith, a Navy veteran who worked in nuclear mechanics, and Fitz, who has a business management degree, want to give back to the community that has often been there for them.
In my life, I've had to deal with a lot of loss.
Leith lost her mom, Lori, in 2024, and her grandpa just last summer. Fitz has lost several friends over the years.
Our friend Kevin was...
we met bartending at our first job, actually.
Yeah,
he was
together.
Our manager,
yeah,
Kevin Johnson.
He got me that first plant. I was with him when I got it, and he passed. And so now we have a piece of Kevin.
My mom inspires me because she worked at our family business for her entire life. Every day, tried really hard, and my grandpa was just such a smart guy.
Keeping reminders of loved ones in the shop is comforting, and that's something these owners want to offer to their customers, whether that's a plant or something else.
We do custom engravings for like plaques or picture frames, even like wood benches.
Something that kind of reminds you of the people that mean the most to you, you know, even if they aren't physically with you in that exact
for sure.
space.
Just because they're gone doesn't mean they're not with you.
There's something blooming right off Highway 26 in Fort Atkinson. And you don't have stories on each other, do you?
A few, yeah.
For another interview.
Yeah, right, yeah. That's the Vices interview if you want that one.
It's not just a plant store. Vines and Vices is sort of a garden where Kenzie Leith and Mariah Fitz have planted their dreams. And they can't wait to watch them grow.
I'm here and like I put roots down and I'm not leaving, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been around the world and it's definitely like a home feeling, for sure.
You can find Vines and Vices on social media, including Facebook and Instagram. Well, Blaze, it might be an indoor plant kind of day. Nice day to get cozy as we expect some snow on the horizon.
That's right, because I don't know many plants that are going to thrive when we're dealing with not only cooler temperatures, but some of us a half a foot of snow, if not more, by the time we go overnight into the mid to late morning hours on Friday. So unlike some of our previous winter storms, this is going to really fall very quickly because this system is going to strengthen as we go overnight into those early morning hours on Friday. Rapidly strengthening will lead to not only windy conditions, but that uptick in snow production. And this is going to be a wet, heavy snow because this system is coming out of the south. Also, we'll be pulling some moisture off of Lake Michigan. Peaking from about midnight, 12 a.m. Friday through at least 9 o'clock on Friday. We're going to be dealing with, at times, wind gusts upwards of 40, 45 miles per hour and some of that intense snow falling. So expect a slow commute. You can always find the latest school closings by heading over to our website as well. They may be coming in as we get further into this evening. There's also going to be sharp cutoffs on both the northwest side and the southeast side of this system in terms of who's going to see the most snow or not. So let's take a look at this system as it goes through what we call cyclogenesis, which is essentially beefing up this weather system. It's eaten a lot of food and it is going to strengthen. So as it makes its way into southeastern parts of Wisconsin, we see this very clear circle developing. These lines, there's more and more, and they're very close together. This is surface pressure, and when we see those lines close together, you can kind of see these green arrows doing it, we get stronger winds. So as the system beelines its way up the Lake Michigan shoreline and then pushes off into Michigan, it's going to pull down cooler air. It is going to help make more snow, which is why we're expecting some of those higher snow totals across western parts of our forecast area. So again, cyclogenesis, a low pressure system is rapidly intensifying and it can pull down some of that really cool air, which can lead to more snow. And as I just mentioned, with those black lines coming closer and closer together, the winds get stronger as well. So it's going to start off as rain for most of us and then turn over to snow as we cross that midnight hour through at least the morning commute time frame. That's when this is likely going to be at its most intense. But southeastern Wisconsin, we're going to be dealing with that snow last, and we're going to be dealing with some drier air, mainly in the Milwaukee area. So that's where we're expecting the least amount of snow, even as cooler air starts to move on in later Friday morning into the early afternoon hours on Friday. That's why we have that sharp cutoff across parts of southeastern Wisconsin, where we may only get a trace to an inch of snow. Dane County could be essentially cut in half, from 1 to 3 inches of snow south and east of Madison to 3 to 6 inches of snow into the Madison area, with extreme northwestern parts of the county picking up possibly 6 to 8 inches of snow, if not more. So this is a very dynamic system. Stay with News 3 Now throughout the evening and of course tomorrow morning for the latest. The good news is we will be quiet this weekend, but Brady, we are saying goodbye to those 60s. We'll be in the 20s a week after we were in those 60s. Starting off Monday, right around 28 degrees.
Goodbye. See you later.
Yes, indeed. We have said goodbye to that false spring.
Thanks, Blaze. Well, do you ever wonder how Blaze and our weather friends do their jobs? Well, we have the show for you. The First Warn Weather Team has been working on an informative and exciting weather special. It's time to get severe weather ready. Now, this special features how watches and warnings are issued, the latest research on southern Wisconsin's severe weather season, and what goes into issuing alert days, and how the First Warn Weather Team conducts severe weather drills to always be ready to use the latest severe weather tracking technologies to keep you safe from severe weather. This airs next Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Well, heads up, Survivor fans, a clue for the immunity idol is in Wisconsin now. It's for the Survivor 50 Challenge, where 50 immunity idols have been placed in all 50 states. A total of 24 players battle it out for $1 million. So the clue is, where 3 glass giants touch the sky and gardens bloom while snow drifts by, in a northern city bold and wide, the world awaits just tucked inside. Get your thinking caps on. Well, they're telling people to dress for the cold, and lines may be long, even though this is inside. If you find the idol, you have a chance to visit Los Angeles for the live finale in May. Survivor 50 starts on Wednesday. You can watch it right here on WISC TV. Well, looking ahead, the full Summerfest lineup is out. The 9-day festival in Milwaukee features 600 artists. It runs the last 2 weekends in June and the 4th of July weekend. Charlie Wilson, Passion Pit, and Father John Misty are among those announced. Previously confirmed are Styx, Stephen Marley, former One Direction star Louis Tomlinson, and of course Garth Brooks. This lineup drops this morning. It dropped this morning, rather, at 6:30. Well, stay with us. The most important stories of the day are next in the afternoon sprint. It's 4:52, time for the afternoon sprint. In breaking news within the last half hour, the state assembly has passed a bill that would expand Medicaid coverage for new moms. The bill would increase postpartum Medicaid coverage from 2 months to a year after a baby is born. Wisconsin is just one of 2 states that have not fully expanded that coverage officially. It now heads to the governor's desk to become law. One of Wisconsin's most powerful Republicans, Speaker Robin Vos, announced today he will not seek re-election. The speaker got emotional on the assembly floor today as he made the announcement. He said he's been thinking about it for most of 2025. This decision not to run partially comes after he suffered a mild heart attack in November. We're learning more about a shooting this morning that left one teenager dead. This morning at about 9:20, Madison police were called to a house on North Lawn Avenue after reports of a shooting of two teens from the same home were involved with the incident. One is dead with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The vice president of the Madison School Board is officially charged for an incident police say happened in December. Prosecutors have charged Maya Pearson with resisting or obstructing an officer and disorderly conduct. Police say Pearson was riding with Urban Triage founder and CEO Brandy Grayson, who was driving over cones and into a loading zone outside of a downtown theater.
And let's take a look at what we can expect through the rest of this evening. Again, leading up to that snow that we're expecting as we go into Friday. Cloudy conditions will eventually bring some rain as we head further into your Thursday evening. And then that rain will turn over to snow, a wet, heavy snow, as temperatures slowly cool off, getting close to about freezing. And we're expecting that peak of the most intense snowfall and breezy conditions to begin around midnight and last through at least the late morning hours on Friday. Alex is going to be in at 5 with the latest on who's underneath the winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories, and the latest in terms of possible accumulations and more. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Blaze. We have a preview of the stories we're working on for News 3 Now at 5 right after this. About 3 possible options for public art on State Street, what they look like, and how you can give your input. And heart disease is the #1 killer of U.S. adults. We learn why the risks are even higher for people of color. Thanks for joining us today on Live at 4. We love spending this time with you, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow. You can find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.